Most likely you are heavily underestimating how quickly and at what magnitude things can shift in your life. When you're at the bottom, feeling completely lost, you're not that far away from being on an upward trajectory. This doesn't mean you're rushing or forcing things, but you are having faith that you know once you start stepping upwards and you've learned the lessons at the bottom, your trajectory will shift and you'll step into a new reality. Building self-esteem and an unshakable resolve mostly comes through your inner world and knowing that you've been to the depths and you've been able to walk yourself back. This makes engaging with the life and interacting with it not stressful at all, because you've been to the depths, you got back from there. So what's something going to throw you off in the day? You're able to dance with it. You're able to move with it. You're able to take a bit of time to yourself if you need to just restore and replenish. But you have the courage to walk forward, because from where you were to where you are now gives you strength. And the first lesson is often the biggest one, because we think, oh no, why me? How am I here? What's going on? But then the older you get and the more you deepen, you realize these are inevitable parts of life. And because you've been there and you know it's not forever, that huge fear of like, oh no, I'm stuck now, everything's changed, I'm never going to be free again, doesn't roll in anymore. Now these shifts that can happen that are either like blissful or painful, some of them happen in a moment, some of them take years, are what people would probably call rites of passage or initiations. You step through the new door into a new reality, you see with new eyes, you've elevated, stepped into some level of new awareness, and the way you even look at your pain or things that were stuck are different. And this can just resolve them in a matter of moments. I had that with my social anxiety, self-consciousness. Lost that filter because I got a real world example of how that was received. And that gave me faith that all I had to do was be myself. Then I've had the shame and the loneliness journey, which took years. But it was still a moment after years that led to it moving a lot. But some things take time, and you need to keep the faith that once you move out, and what you do moving out of there will make the man. And that all men have gone through that stage, which has formed them to have a greater relationship with fear in taking action in the world, because they've already been to the depths of their psyche where the real enemy is, which is generally you, another part of you. And if you've had one of those big shifts and you've stepped into a new reality, you understand what I'm saying. And you probably understand or can contemplate the infinite potential of the human being. Because when you step through those doors, wow, you got new eyes, new ears, everything makes a lot more sense. And you don't know how many more of those doors there are. If you haven't had one of those, but you can intuit what I'm saying and you can feel that it's probably real, your time will probably come. And this is exciting. In the Eastern places or South American, they have these cultures and tribes that have these initiatory processes. And in the spiritual scene, they use that word a lot and they push that thing a lot. And there are some real people who can actually take you through initiatory processes, but they're really, really rare. In the West, we're very in the world, taking action. That's why I'm so big on this, because it can give you the opportunities to have that occur. Having people you can talk to is important, because you can get lost there. As my biggest first one, I got lost there. It's like, why me? I'm going to be stuck here forever. But I didn't. And changing my mind from one that inverted and separated itself from me and was covered in shame, to bringing it back to something that I love, that is like one of my greatest tools, that is sharp enough to have mental alchemy and hit limiting beliefs and things that aren't meant for me away, is probably my greatest achievement. And that's what builds the self-esteem and just the self-contentment of like, I know who I am enough. As I said, there's doors I step through that'll blow that away. It's not an inflated ego. It's just like, hey, I'm doing my best. I've done some things. And there's that self-assurance that engaging with the world on a day-to-day basis isn't going to throw me off into these shame loops. This is the thing with in the West, and how I'm saying like Eastern practices going full there and disengaging with the world causes a fragmentation in yourself. Some of these practices, of course, are great. Bring more peace to your mind, open your energy channels, but we need to balance it in the West. You need to have some strength in mental alchemy and being able to use the mind mostly in a way to just not let the snowball happen, mixed with a connection to something higher. Because I see with these spiritual dudes getting stuck in the eternal process, and they're always like, yeah, I've got this thing going on, this thing going on, this thing going on. And I see most of it as mental gymnastics and people bringing negative or weak thoughts into reality through their speaking, making them real, and then trying to process it. Where mental alchemy is just like, nope, 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 nope. But mental alchemy without any connection to something higher can turn you into a psychopath. So this is the dance as well. If you are stuck, understand you're not as far away as you might believe yourself to be. Some things take a long time, others don't. But we are underestimating how much we change. There was some study, like Normie study, that talked about that, and they interviewed people every 10 years. And what they predicted and what happened is just radically different. That's the awesome thing about life. It'd be boring if we could estimate what was going to happen. Yeah? This is a picture of me at uni. Look at that guy. Hey, what's up? Things shift, man. And the coolest thing is, like, when you step into a new reality, I go from completely self-conscious to not. But things like reading, writing, the way you learn, the things you pick up, I'm speaking to a camera now. Absolutely, I couldn't even speak to a person if I didn't know them. You know, things shift in a way that you don't have to mechanically learn things, because you've altered your reality and you're seeing through clearer eyes that makes you're just better at stuff. It's really cool, because this is where you're rising up in the unseen realm, and that can come through to your 3D reality. This for me is like the most exciting parts of the human experience. And yeah, it'd be great if we had leaders that can run us through these initiatory processes, and there are a few. Having good mentors to be able to just speak to as you go through yours is important. But I don't know, take this message as encouragement, excitement that these things can happen. I had a big thing drop away last night. Amazing. I'm like, yes, I was so excited about it. I found the root of where that fear came from through engaging with life, through having a conversation with a mentor, through then being in relationship and going, yes, that's where it's come from. And the synchronicity of that conversation linked to that, and having that, it's the magic. This is what I love about life. It's the synchronistic, not need to put a reason on it, but it's happening, gratitude. Yeah.